All right, hey everyone, we are back in Integrated Strategies IS6 here talking about how to max out Raidian. So at this point, if you followed my earlier video, hopefully you have Raidian at Elite 2 already, and now we're talking about the Scroll of Scars ending. So there are 4 different things that you can unlock in the Scroll of Scars ending. It's the Mastery 2 of all 3 of her skills. To do those, you need to clear Scroll of Scars on difficulty 5 or above with 3 different teams. Each one gets you, skill 1, then skill 2, then skill 3, up to Mastery 2. And then the other thing that you can upgrade with Scroll of Scars is Expert Recruit 2. The last upgrade of that requires you to clear Scroll of Scars on difficulty 6, to have 6 or more Candle Guests and Raidian in the squad when you do that. Those clauses are not that difficult. So mainly, you need to clear Scroll of Scars on difficulty 6. So today we're going to talk about how to do that. I'm only going to show it on one squad. You're going to have to figure out how to do it for 2 other squads. So let's dive in. So when you're building for this run, you really need to start at the end. You need to know what mechanics you're going to be facing for the boss and start building for those across the entire run. So to unlock this ending, you need to find the Butterfly of Elm encounter in Sui's consciousness. This is one of the furthest legend nodes from the center of the map. There you need to pay 30 ingots to get Ink of the Hidden Butterfly, and from that point forward, Sui will attack you in every combat encounter, including in turmoil nodes in Sui's consciousness. In both those fights and the final fight with Sui, he uses the same mechanic. When the white bar fills up, he smashes down on an operator somewhere on the map. He chooses the operator with the largest number of operators in the 8 tiles surrounding them. Most summons count for this, including Wishadel's Revenants, but a few, like Silence's Medical Drone, do not. If there's a tie for the most operators he can defeat, he chooses the tile closest to the bottom of the map, and after that, the tile furthest to the left of the map. He ignores all taunt mechanics. In the 3x3 tile where he crashes down, all operators and summons are instantly retreated. That ignores all unkillable mechanics like Spectre or Surtur. The limb hangs out there for a while, and this is your only chance to damage it. The 9 tiles where he occupies become undeployable. At first, Sui shows up only once per battle. Any damage you deal is remembered across encounters. Once you reduce him to 50%, he will retreat and stop showing up in future encounters. Unless you've got really wild DPS that you can get on the field quickly, you probably need to plan on at least 2 encounters to deal enough damage to him. And keep in mind that you still need to fight the encounter's usual enemies. Once you've done that, a carved ink stick remnant shows up in your inventory. Use that at the prophecy node to change the final boss from Yi to Sui. In the Sui fight, you have to face that same mechanic plus more. When that limb comes down, it also stomps a few times, dealing 3 instances of global physical damage. When Sui reaches 50% HP, he forcibly retreats your entire squad, and so you're going to need to have some alternates ready to go. On the left side of the map, look out for a series of sharp edges and spearheads. The spearheads are unblockable per usual and have to be damaged 30 times to defeat. Each sharp edge can spawn up to 4 spearheads whenever he dies. If you can't take those spearheads, it's better to leak the sharp edge intact before he splits. Oh, and the whole fight has a 10-minute time limit, so don't just stall on Sui while dealing with the normal mobs or you're going to run out of time to kill him. So that gives us the following rough checklist for the run. We need cheap bait units to bait Sui. We need global healing or regen that can counter that global damage. We need DPS that have good range so they can hit Sui in whatever location you've baited him to. You need some solution for sharp edge and spearheads. Things like bind, slow, push or pull, damage over time, AoE hits that help you defeat those before they leak. And most likely you're going to want a fair number of spare life points because there's a lot of opportunities to leak in this fight. Some of the top operators to think about for your run. On the global healing front, Perfumer is a budget option. You've got also options like Aya Alter or Silence who can heal all over the map. For bait units, Raidian is the top tier option here. Other summoners can be useful at this. Calcit with the monster summon is a decent option as well. Executors like Gravel make good bait, and the stronger executors like Texas or Yato can double as bait or as mobile DPS as you need them. On the ranged DPS front, Liberators like Moinar or Lazy can hit at a pretty good distance. Also, Lord Guard operators like Thorns or Silver Ash can be pretty useful here. A Fortress Defender like Horn can hold a lane and then still hit Sui from far away. Global range operators like Golden Glow or Lapland Altar can hit from far away as well. And then good high ground nukers like Exusiate Altar can be a solid option. In the case of Wishida, look out for the fact that her Revenants can turn her into Sweebait. For the Sharp Edge solution, Mizuki with his IS module is an S-rank solution for this. Other ambushers, like even Ethan with damage over time, can be decent, but probably needs some additional backup to prevent from leaking. Tragedia can lure and rack up a lot of hits quickly. Thorns and Executors also useful options there. All right, we're about ready to get started. The bulk of the run I'm going to show you today is on Special Squad. But real quick, since you are going to need clears under multiple different squads, I want to show you a quick hack for doing a good run as Leader Squad. Once you have unlocked this first big node here in Ageless Erudition, the one that upgrades Leader Squad, what you can do, that gets you the End of Times relic when you start, which lets you auto-succeed a battle that you have failed. Take that with you to the end of the first floor. There's a rogue merchant there. After you've bought what you want from the first version of his shop, refresh it so it's full. Refresh multiple times if you need to so it's got stuff that you want. Then start that fight with Kanat. As soon as that fight starts, just retreat and fail it. But End of Times will save you from failing the run. Now Kanat is considered to be defeated. You can rob the rest of his shop. This only takes like 5 minutes to try, so if you don't like what you got, just go ahead and abandon the run, start over. Re-roll it a couple times until you're entering floor 2 with an awesome set of collectibles that you're excited to finish the run with. So that's a great way to get a clear with Leader Squad. So here's what I'll use for the clear today. I like to use Special Squad. You start with Raidian for free, and then take Overcoming Your Weaknesses, Guard, Supporter, and Medic. What we're gonna do with that Supporter recruitment is just upgrade Raidian. So we get Raidian at E2 from the first floor. She can practically solo like the first 3 floors at E2. That's a great just initial addition to the team. On the medic side, we're gonna go with Perfumer. If you don't have a maxed Perfumer, you can probably support recruitment her from somewhere, but that global region is gonna be really useful at the boss. So we're gonna pick her up early. Also doesn't spend any hope. And then on the guard side, I'll just go with Spectre, a classic low hope cost choice. Going into floor 1 here with an E2 Radiant, I am definitely taking this emergency op path. I don't know what it is, but I'm confident that Radiant will be able to handle it. Conserving vouchers as always. All right, yeah. Emergency veteran actor. Absolutely nothing I'm concerned about here. I found a few good options here in the first rogue merchant, but SP cost of supporter skills down 40%. That is a huge boost to Radian, and we're going to be leaning heavily on Radian this whole run. As in earlier videos, I'm going to recommend that you go ahead and enter Squeeze Consciousness the first time and scout, and then save your candles after that for the 4th floor. All right, we see a retrieve node that's going to recover life points. That makes it quite safe for us to just go ahead and spend some here at G if we want to. End of Times. You know what? That'll let us rob Kanat later if we want to, per the strategy that I showed you just a little bit ago. That sounds fun if we hit another rogue trader. Actually, before I hit that retrieve, I'm going to hit these legends because sometimes they also recover life points. All right, this is floor 2. To hit our desired ending, we're going to need to hit the right legend encounter somewhere in Squeeze Consciousness, so we really need these candles. So this Wander into Wonderland is essential. We're gonna grab those candles and save them for later. So we start with Pathfinder, use up our recruitment vouchers. I have a really solid starting set here. Unfortunately, I do have to burn a voucher to light Radian's candle, but it's going to be worth it to have her as a candle guest rather than grabbing some other useful supporter. 3 guard vouchers is not bad at all. We'll go ahead and candle guest and promote Spectre for free, and then we've got enough hope we can get some other 6-star. So I'm thinking, really honestly, Silver Ash Thorns and Moinar are the ones that stand out here as pretty good options. Although Moinar doesn't have block when he's not using his skill, I've got a lot of other block on this squad, and he hits like a truck. I think I'm going to be really happy that I have him once we get to the last boss. We're going to go Moinar. Not bad at all for starting second floor. Wander into Wonderland, just save these candles. All right, here's our floor 3 map. Check the boss first. It's going to be Enlightenment. Nothing to fear there with this team that we currently have. Once again, we're going to want that Wander into Wonderland. We're going to want these extra candles to be real assured that we get the relic for the Scroll of Scars ending. Would love to hit some of this other stuff. I don't really love the path to that, but that's what we drew, and that's what we're going to have to go with. Just save our candles again. And here comes the boss. Yeah, I want S3 again on Raidian for Enlightenment. No sweat. All right, this is fantastic. Radian's console, every summon she has on the field increases attack and defense of all her summons. This is always something you're happy to find in a Radian run. All right, floor 4, and we don't have a lot of options here. So we've got the Wander into Wonderland at the end. That's when we're going to be going for the collectible that's going to take us towards the Scroll of Scars ending. We are almost full on conservative vouchers, so we really need to hit this Pathfinder, which means there's not a lot of different directions to go, but we do have 3 coupons. So I'm going to take these 2 operations, gonna travel vertically to the Lost and Found so that we can hit Pathfinder. All right, we do not need more ingot drops. We'll trade that one in, but we are hungry for this Pathfinder node. I've got 22 hope, 6 vouchers conserved. Let's see. Get a caster maxed. We've got enough to get a guard maxed, or maybe pull a vanguard. I think I would really like to have a good vanguard. I have been hurting for DP right now. So let's start with a caster. Yeah, no thanks, Leonhardt. I lean on my Lapland altar a whole lot, and she is good for this run. So yes, please to that. Let's see, agents are helpful in the final fight, and I just really need some DP gens somewhere. We're gonna grab Ines. I think Thorns is where I'm gonna go next. Defender, I am leaning towards Horn because her long range works pretty well against the final boss as well. On the supporter side, I might just save the hope. I don't know if any of these are really going to be game changing. You know, we've got summons boosted. I'll just grab Mayor. I'm probably not going to use her anywhere, but she costs nothing. All right, into floor 4. We're ready for Wander into Wonderland. We've got a bunch of candle guests. We've got a lot of candles that we have saved from 3 of these before. All right, what we need to get from here is that Inkstick remnant from a legend tile somewhere, usually far away. That's going to cost us 30 ingots. We've got plenty, so that'll be okay. Then otherwise, with the rest of our 13 candles, we just want to get as much nice stuff as we possibly can. Come away with some collectibles that hopefully gear us up for the boss fights in the last few floors. So let's see what we can find. All right, we're just going to start by clearing some turmoil nodes. All right, we're at the point where we are not going to hit another Pathfinder for a while. I would much rather just go ahead and spend some hope, get Thorns to E2. He's already a Candle Guest. Really wish I could upgrade a Ness. I'm going to have to save that for later, and hopefully I am able to before the last fight. Nice boost to Defender operators. All right, this Turmoil is the 4 difficulties. This is one of the hardest ones, and I don't think I have a team that can do it in a single candle. These Doubts nodes aren't being super kind to me. This one requires 1 life point, so I think what we're going to do is go back to trade. We're going to spend 7 so that we can pass that Doubts, and if we need to, this Retrieve should get us somewhat healthy again. There is a really great option here. 1 SP every time you take damage. That is going to make us pretty powerful at the end, and then this one adds up to 7. We can get through here. 2 collectibles. Let's see, ammo type skills. We don't have much of that right now. Specialist operators up. That would be lovely if we had ever seen a specialist voucher. All right, legend. There we go. That's the Butterfly of Elm. So we need this in order to find the ending we're looking for. Now we're just looking to get whatever we can out of this place. Okay, recover life points. Sounds good. We will just go ahead and take the collectible from the Weichi board. And the Hope. Turmoil node, we should be able to handle this one. Oof. That didn't go as planned. All right, so we just hit us once. We still cleared the level. And now that we've got the DP to spare, I definitely would like an upgraded NS. All right, we've reached the 5th floor. We've got a pretty long to-do list here. So the thing that must happen is before the last fight, we need to defeat that Limb of Sui so that we get the boss that we're aiming for here. And then we just need to survive that final fight. And so we want to beef up as much as we can along the way. So we want to think about what we're missing right now. Unfortunately, I haven't seen a single medic voucher. Perfumer still E1 here. I would love to get her to E2. Would be nice if we had some even more healing power somewhere in the team. But we're missing that right now. I don't really have a solution for the sharp edges on the left side. So we're hoping to find a good chunk of stuff along the way. I see we have a rogue trader. We did pick up End of Times. We could do the Kanat fight and just absolutely clean out Kanat. We've got a ton of ingots as well, and we could refresh that shop. We got a lot of coupons. We can refresh the shop a few times. So that's kind of what I'm looking at as my strategy for the last floor is I'm trying to clean up, pick up a lot of relics and recruitment vouchers from Kanat here and see if that gives us the things that we really need to handle the ending we're going for. Let's see, if we go that direction, Pathfinder is just not on the way. And so our conserved recruitment voucher is basically trash at this point. I think we can spend 1 of them if we head to the Wander into Wonderland node. But we basically need to plan to spend any of our vouchers as we get them. So those are my thoughts going in. And so we're going to start, I think, with Muted Past here. I find it to be a fairly easy one. It's a good map for baiting Sweet down here. All right, we got most of the way there on that one. And I got a beloved medic voucher.
My trap I set for you.
All right, time for an absolute shopping blitz at Kanat. We've got a ton of ingots. We can refresh this as many times as we need it, and then we're definitely going to fight him to see what else we can get out of this place. All right, now we get a lot of stuff for free. All right, we don't have much hope left, but I have really been hurting for DP, especially because we've got the Hour of Sui that increases DP. I think we're gonna grab Myrtle here. I'm just gonna conserve this. All right, wander into Wonderland. Let's see. I think what I'll do is we will just E2 Myrtle. All right, we've got 4 candles left. You know, what's the best outcome we're hoping for? Honestly, I would love to E2 Mizuki to handle the sharp edges or get some other solution for the sharp edges for the final boss. Ah, Specialist Voucher. That is worth 2 life points at this point. And we'll see what else we can get out of this place. All right, it's the moment of truth here. Almost ready for the final fight. So we've got the carved ink stick remnant. We can unlock words passed like smoke. All right, here's what we've got going into this. We've got a good chunk of collectibles, mostly boosts to guards and to summons. We also have a fair amount of dodge collectibles. So those are all fairly solid. As always, there are a few things that I really wish I had. I think we've also got this Hour of Sui that increased DP cost by 3. I think DP is going to be more problematic in this run than I want it to be. I did not get the collectible that reduces the cost of summons, and we're going to be using a lot of Radiant summons. All right, this is the team. Let's do this. All right, so here's the plan. Sui's gonna go for the most adjacent operators he can find as low and as left as possible. So we're gonna put bait units, mostly summons, here on the green squares. Sui will target the leftmost of those, so he will land here in these red squares. And then after that, we can place the rest of our operators in any combination of these blue squares, and it won't mess up that bait. As long as we keep replacing the bait every time Sui disappears, we can keep those operators there for as long as they can survive. Now, things don't always go according to plan. I do make a few mistakes in here, but it all works out. So start with Myrtle. We really need some DP for the rest of this. Radian's gonna camp up in this upper spot, and we need to start using her summons as bait as much as possible. They're also good. They've got some block that can handle some of these early units fairly well. We want to get rid of this statue geist at some point. He keeps making talismans, so we use him as an opportunity to generate DP with an S. This is the first big mistake. I placed some units wrong, and there we go. Moinar gets taken out as soon as I drop him. Terrible move. All right, Mizuki facing to the right is able to hit the spot where I'm trying to bait Sui to. So once everything gets going, he'll work out there. And with his pull on the IS module, he should be able to handle these sharp edges mostly through the map. He also has a strong regen with that IS module, so I don't need Perfumer on the map just yet for him to at least stay healthy. Alright, trying to use Lapland there to put some more damage into that statue. Place Perfumer for regen for everyone. Unfortunately, I think Lapland goes down here.
Your orders looks like a piece of cake.
And now I break the plan a little bit, trying to figure out how to hold the monsters in the right lane.
This isn't the way out, but a trap I set for you.
I will complete my assignment. You wanna topple me? By what?
If Horn was E2, she would have enough range to hit Sui when he comes down. Unfortunately, she's only E1 in this run.
We're counting on you again today, little apple.
Just barely got Gravel down in time. I didn't have enough summons there, but still managed to get Beta Sui to exactly where I wanted him.
Doctor, sorry. This isn't the way out, but a trap I set for you.
At attention, ready to fall in.
Oh, almost. I have to get serious now. Your order means chemicals or illusions? Why delude yourself?
No need to cover up. I'll impart on you all the cries.
Enjoy a little solar sojourn to the information silo.
What are you waiting for? The curtains are about to fall.
Oh, almost like we're counting on you again today, little apple.
Alright, place the summons again, make sure the bait is there.
Look, Zaro. See the game we humans are born playing?
I'm fully this won't hurt your eyes.
Use chemicals or illusions? Why delude yourself? Doctor, enjoy a little
There's that
solar
forced retreat.
sojourn.
This creates some problems.
You are the one who woke me.
I didn't plan for this particularly well on this run,
Capacitating them is enough.
so I just kind of threw a few things down to see how well I could manage the damage.
Picked out your bait yet? You can hide your fear.
Stay calm. No need to panic.
Don't keep me waiting.
I am your shadow.
I tried to put Gravel down as bait. Unfortunately, I pulled that a little bit too early.
Let me
She ends up going down here, and then Sui lands in the wrong spot. And we end up leaking a whole bunch of things down the middle because we just didn't have anything left to deploy. This is why extra life points are good. You have room to make some mistakes.
No need to cover up. If seek
Alright, at this point we start getting our cooldown from all the forced retreat, and now we can finally get everyone back on the board and get back to the starting plan.
Paralyzed as long as
I'm listening. Don't you can hide your fear.
Doctor, enjoy a little solar sojourn to the information silo.
Good scenery here, Doctor. I have to get serious now.
Be bold, Doctor. Trust what the looks like a piece of cake.
I did my best to bait with Silence's drone, but apparently it doesn't count.
I know what to do. Don't order me around.
Doctor, what kind of mess? Sadly, there's no controlling the battlefield with brute force alone.
I'm not sure what went wrong with Mizuki over there that he leaks a few of these. Mostly he had it under control, but this round he leaked a few. At this point, you can see we're at 53, 55. That guy in the lower right is the only monster left other than Sui. We're making great time. Not much to be afraid of at this point.
Good scenery here, Doctor. Gather around it, guys.
I won't be afraid.
So as soon as I place this, I have to lift the other one to make sure that they don't take over as bait.
Ready whenever. These tentacles are illusions? So, this isn't the way out, but a trap I set for you.
We're pretty much good now. We just need to pump some more damage into him.
This is the destreza of Iberia.
We're counting on you again today, little apple.
Your order looks like a piece of cake. Enjoy a little solar soldier to the information silo.
Even when there's no summons on the board for Radian, we want to cycle her skill pretty much as fast as possible because it creates more summons. We use them pretty constantly here.
I have to get serious now.
Your weapons are right at your fingertips. Why wait?
At this point, I was trying to figure out where else I could put DPS down. I should have put Moinar in the fences up above Sui.
The spotlight shines on us.
These tentacles are illusions? Enjoy a little solar soldier to the information silo.
And there you have it.